we hope it's fun. We want writing to be fun, a social thing, not something done individually, maybe only in your room, but something you share with other people. And then the last, which we kind of just added lately, which may be implicit, if you have something you really want to write, don't pay attention to me or the prompts. Just go with what you want to write. Hope that's all clear. Okay. Next. So we're going to start with the first. This is a prompt to get you thinking about what we're going to write about in a minute. What I'm going to ask you to write about is things you love and why you love them. And so let me read this. Rich, can you read this poem by Margaret Atwood, who's a well-known American writer, poet, and fiction writer?
Sure. Variations on the Word Love by Margaret Atwood. This is a word we use to plug holes with. It's the right size for those warm blanks in speech, for those red heart-shaped vacancies on the page that look nothing like real hearts. Add lace and you can sell it. We insert it also in the one empty space on the printed form that comes with no instructions. There are whole magazines with not much in them but the word love. You can rub it all over your body and you can cook with it too. How do we know it isn't what goes on at the cool debaucheries of slugs under damp pieces of cardboard? As for the weed seedlings nosing their tough snouts up among the lettuces, they shout it. Love, love, sing the soldiers, raising their glittering knives in salute. Then there's the two of us. This word is far too short for us. It has only 4 letters, too sparse to fill those deep, bare vacuums between the stars that press on us with their deafness. It's not love we don't wish to fall into, but that fear. This word is not enough, but it will have to do. It's a single vowel in this metallic silence, a mouth that says, oh, again and again, in wonder and pain, a breath, a finger grip on a cliffside. You can hold on or let go.
Thanks, Rich. So I know this poem is a sort of romantic poem, but we want you to think about it in any way in a broader sense as well. All the things we love. So can we go to the next slide, Mohsin? This is, if you want to use this structure, and tell us the things you love. They don't have to be big things. They can be small things. And you can do any form you want. We just put this out because it's a good structure to think about and begin with. So I'll give you about 10 minutes to do this prompt, and then we'll do another prompt, and then we'll share. Is that clear with everyone? If anybody has any questions, let me know. Okay, we're not trying to rush you, but I'll give you a reminder in about 9 minutes, and then 8 or 9 minutes, and then yeah, get to.
So write as many as you want to, right?
Yeah, write as many as you want. You don't have to use this form and just talk about one thing you love. It's however you want to do it. It's sort of a meditation on love.
Okay.
What do you think? Can we stop now and go to the next? If anyone needs another minute, let me know in the chat room.
Most people are done.
Okay, let's move on. I mean, you can always, one of the rules we probably should be in there is that when we do these workshops, you don't have to be, no poem is ever finished, or piece of writing, so you don't have to finish it even to share it later. Okay, let's move to the next one.
So the next one, I guess, is this one.
Okay, so this one is, as I'll read what it says, write a letter or letter poem to someone you want to talk to but cannot speak to directly. That person has gone away or died, or someone who is difficult to reach. It could be a person from your past you've never met, or someone from your future. There's a lot of poems about future unborn children or future spouses. And then we're going to read a poem. I'm going to ask Rich to read this poem by a famous Chinese poet, Li Po, which was translated by the United States poet Ezra Pound. We have the next, here it is. Rich, can you read this, please? You're muted. Rich, you're muted. Oh, there you go.
The River Merchant's Wife. While my hair was still cut straight across my forehead, I played about the front gate, pulling flowers. You came by on bamboo stilts, playing horse. You walked about my seat, playing with blue plums. And we went on living in the village of Chokan, two small people without dislike or suspicion. At 14, I married my lord, you. I never laughed, being bashful. Lowering my head, I looked at the wall. Called to 1,000 times, I never looked back. At 15, I stopped scowling. I desired my dust to be mingled with yours forever and forever and forever. Why should I climb the lookout? At 16, you departed. You went into far Kutoyen by the river of swirling eddies, and you have been gone 5 months. The monkeys make sorrowful noise overhead. You dragged your feet when you went out. By the gate now, the moss is grown, the different mosses, too deep to clear them away. The leaves fall early this autumn in wind. The paired butterflies are already yellow with August. Over the grass in the west garden, they hurt me. I grow older. If you are coming down through the narrows of the river Kian, please let me know beforehand, and I will come out to meet you as far as Chofusa.
Thanks, Rich. Next, yeah. So this prompt, like the one before it, can be used for really young children, people of any age. So I'm going to show you a few. Of course, you have to scaffold it, and for really young children. But so I'm going to read a few that were written by these young adolescents here in the States. So the first one is Why I'm Punished. I'm angry with you because of what happened and what you did. They didn't know about us, my parents, uncles, nobody knew. I was going to tell them, but you told me not to. Then you talked about us to your friends, and they talked in front of my uncles. Now they won't talk to me. You won't talk to me. Really, what should I do? Okay, next one. So I just wanted to say that these prompts are important, I think, if you're doing with people, because they don't have to write you don't have to write a long poem. You can write a really short one right from your heart. And I apologize. It's my fault. I made a few typos in here, but I can still read it. So this one I love because it's so cute. A girl who can't tell her best friend what she feels about her she needs to write this poem. My friend Raquel, your eyes are dark like nightfall, but your heart shines in the darkness. You have cinnamon-colored skin, and your heart is clean like a newborn child. Clean like a red rose that you have in the garden. You are a little white lamb that plays until dawn. Dawn that brings us new hopes, my sweet friend, Raquel. Okay, and then the last one speaks for itself. Dear great grandmother, I want to see you again, dear great-grandmother. Without your presence, the house is enormously empty. I miss your little wrinkled face, your precious hands, and your advice. What am I going to do without you? Okay, next. So yeah, again, I'll give everybody 10 minutes, and I'll ask after 10 minutes if you need more time. But write your own letter or letter poem to someone you can't speak to directly, or write whatever you want. Okay, thanks. That's about 10 minutes, but I'm going to give a couple of minutes longer because I see if people are still writing. I haven't got responses, so I'll give you a check in about 3 more minutes. Does anybody need more time, or should we go on to sharing? You can write it in the chat room if you need more time.
I want to listen to people now.
Yeah, I do too. Let's go. Let's go to sharing.
Any volunteers?
Oh, someone needs one more time. How about one more minute? Or do you want to? We better get going, Mohsin, because of time.
Yeah, maybe Shazin can take a minute and then we start.
Okay. Okay, we should probably start now. And
Yes, please.
we all know we're not finished. These are just quick drafts. If you saw my note in the chat, you know, the whole idea here is to not pay attention to our inner critic that tells us our stuff is bad, and just to write from our imagination. So let's get to sharing.
So any volunteers?
Yeah, volunteer. I see Rita has her hand up.
Rita, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yes. A little louder, just a little louder, please.
Okay. Echo in my mind, my voice, calling out your name over and over till I hear your footsteps fade. Is it that difficult for you to stay? We are children of the dark, sought the light and got lost. I want to reach out to you, but I don't know where you've been and I don't know who you are. That's all.
Wow.
Okay, we give snap. So everybody, thank you, Rita.
And Lou, can they read the first one also if they want to? Either one of them or
yeah.
both of them?
Read one or both, whatever you want. It's totally up to you.
So we have Aisha's hand go up. Go ahead, Aisha. And then Uneza.
Okay, so this is a poem that I wrote regarding someone I thought I loved. So here it goes. A glass of wine and you by my side. I can never be as much happy as you are now mine. I look into your eyes, desperate for a sign. But then you disappear into thin air as you had already drawn a line. A line so deep and so painful that fire is the only support to which I incline. And I know you will never come back, because I know it wasn't you, but God who drew the line. And you live far away, and it's with angels that you only dine. I was wrong that you would be with me, as you were never destined to be mine. That's all.
Wow, wow.
And I even wrote one poem when I was 12. Can I share that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so the poem is titled like it's faded. The title is Faded. In this world full of lights, full of skyscrapers and heights, I can't find anywhere to hide. How long in this darkness will I bide? Then each night I see those stars shining bright. When I see them, I'm delighted at their sight. Then suddenly a feeling strikes me. I can't hide anywhere, even how hard I plead. I'm exposed to everyone here. I'll never find a hiding place anywhere. I'm afraid I'll be lost in this hustle. Even how humble I try to be, I'll cause trouble. Then suddenly a question strikes me. Am I here? Can someone see me? Have I wasted all my time in these thoughts, even when I knew it was all complex like knots? I now realize it was all fated. Since the start, I was just fated. That's it.
Beautiful,
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah. Vanessa, you want to go
Thank
next?
you.
Yes. Okay, for the last prompt, I wrote arranged marriage, and it is addressed to Abbaji, my grandfather. If only you had stayed for a few more years, my years would have been different, taken another path in life. You had made the decision when I was in my teens. I had growing up to do, needed time to know my mind. I could have talked talked you out of your thinking, if only you had been there, not under the ground, 10 feet.
Very powerful. Thank you for sharing that very personal.
And
Yeah.
yes, that is one of the reasons that I don't write, because it seems that I share part of myself and I cannot prevent it. So I cannot be impersonal while writing, and I don't want to share it also. So what is this? What should I do about it? I think I stopped writing because of it.
Because you were too self-conscious about what you were saying about yourself?
Yeah, yes, I don't want people to know what I'm thinking. Like let's put it this one, arranged marriage. I don't want people to have been married for decades now. No, I don't want people to think that these thoughts even run through my mind after all that time.
You know, that's a really tough thing, because most writers write out of their experience. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that I don't know. I mean, that's really tough. You can fictionalize some of it, but the best writing comes from ourselves. So that's a tough situation. Maybe you only share with people that you're close to, but I think it's probably important to write it out because it's on your mind.
So I would like to know, is it good enough to write it out? I mean, why should I waste paper then?
You know, that's such a good question. I mean, it's a writer's question. If you feel like you need the stuff to be in the world, your ideas, your feelings, your thoughts, your words to be out in the world. And a lot of people feel that really helps. Like if they don't share their writing, they really feel it helps to have it. But you might, write and then save it. And then at some point when you're ready, you can share it.
Okay, sorry for taking up your time. When I was younger and bolder, I used to share with the people around, and always they said that, how did you know I was thinking that? And your poems are speaking through me, and
Oh, you were having trouble with
that. But then I stopped sharing.
We have trouble hearing that, but it sounded like you stopped sharing because.
Yes, I said when I was younger and bolder, at that time I used to share with some people around me, and they used to be surprised, and they said that, I mean, hearing your poems or thing, it's like you are speaking for us. You are simply reflecting what we are thinking, what we could not put into words. So I thought that was a special quality at that time, but then I stopped.
Well, that's a phenomena that we hear over and over again. When you get in writing circles, you learn that you're not alone, that people have the same thoughts and feelings. So, that's why people have these writing circles where they may not share with the world, but they share with people close to them that they can trust.
So I'm in the right place. Thank you. Okay. Would you want me to share the last one from the last prompt, if I'm not taking too much time.
Okay, can we do that in the end? If we have time, we'll
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
have another
Yes.
round, second round, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. That's why I asked. Thank you.
We would love to hear it. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Next, who wants to go next? Okay, Tuba. Yeah.
Hi. Can I do the previous one? The I love listing
Sure.
because
Sure, sure.
you can hear me, right?
Yes.
All right. What do I love? Those who are there when nothing else is. I love my friends because they knew all along. The pain, the suffering, the darkness that was seeping in. What do I love? I love the little coffee shop in my neighborhood and the cup after cup I would devour. Sitting solo in a city where a female alone is not exactly considered normal. I love the Irish lattes I could sip and the word after word I would write in my notebook then, aloof to the questioning, confused, silent stares from the waiters. I love coffee because it gives me energy to soldier on. What do I love? I love traveling because it changed me. It brought me back from the brink of a dark hollow, the travel that opened me up to a world of wonder, a world of possibilities that reminded me that my existence was inconsequential and yet I could find significance in everything around me. I love traveling because it gives me freedom and me the kind I and it gives me the freedom, the kind that I never thought I could have. What do I love? I love nature. Nature that helps me accept myself. Nature that tells me that lets me understand what individuality is, that taught me how to move on because there is much more to life. I love nature because it healed me.
That's great. It just reminds us of that, we love so many things, like huge things and small things like coffee.
Yeah.
Where we're without coffee, but then also these larger things like travel. There's a phrase in English called the ridiculous and the sublime. Like that's what life is. It's both small things and big things. That was great. Thank you, Tuba.
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff that we sort of don't notice around us until we are prompted to think about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tuba. Who wants to go next? Okay, Manal. Yeah, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you'll have to speak a little louder, please.
Okay, so the poem is called To Him. I'm not actually satisfied with the way I ended it, but it is a first draft, so it goes like this. Insect, a six-legged vermin, a parasitic leaf sitting in the small place between your teeth. Look at the grand scale of my reduction, from ant to girl to vermin to mere dil ka tukda. Was there ever a time where I was anything but yours? I must have made for a marvelous sight, rarely putting up any fights. A parasite first, a girl second, nameless, shapeless, weightless. Am I the air that swishes against your knuckles? Or am I the dirt that your feet swing so marvelously against? I guess there is a superpower of sorts. All this teeter tottering and tiptoeing, it must lead somewhere.
Wow. These are so powerful. All of that was great. Thank you so much.
Next, please. Who wants to go next?
Shafika has shared something in the chat if she wants to read it out loud.
Yeah, Shafika.
That would be great.
We want to hear it from you. We know it's there in the chat, but still, love to hear it from you.
Okay,
So Mariam is.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Shafika, please go
So
ahead.
this is something that I wrote for my best friend, and I love my best friend the most. So yeah,
Like the appearance of a colorful rainbow, you have painted my life with the brightest of hues. It's not in the way you speak, but how you show affection for me. Remember the moments that brought us together. I long to relive those with you and cherish the good times forever. I wish I could tell you how precious you are to me, but how? I don't know, as every kind words fail me.
Wow. You definitely have to give her, polish it and give it to her. Beautiful.
Yes. Mariam can go next. I can see Mariam's hand.
Yes, I'll start, inshallah. Um, Let me find my poem. Yes. You know what? It's a strange, but it is how it is. Still, sometimes when I wake up, you are the first thought in my mind. I feel as if someone in my head wakes me up by whispering my early good memories with you, then following the good beginning with a painful ending, leaving me shocked, gifting me a struggle. You know what kind of struggle is that? Struggle of acceptance, state of denial. I ask myself, if that all really happened, if you grew in my garden as the most beautiful flower, and if you really left the garden bleeding with your sharp and edgy thorns, I feel that I'm fed the morsel of pain. I feel I am jerked with an emotional shock. I ask myself, why am I often shooted with the bitter memory bullets? Why do I have to swallow the pain tablets every now and then? And that too after living the best day of my life, after thriving in the days of happiness and contentment, after sinking in the sweetness of honey like lakes of my life, after flying high in the air, then my wisdom neurons come in, come in action and start injecting the wise reflections. They tell me then they tell me that painful moments are prerequisite for the strength development.
Wow. Wow. Very
Thank you
strong.
so much. Thank you so
Very,
much.
very strong.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
what about Javeria and Aziz? We haven't heard from Aziz.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. It's good to hear a male voice other than Lou and myself.
That was what I think. All right, so there are more blue. No need to find a clue. Even today's sky is shy. Ethereal they are. By heart it's true. From the day one of gaze, met in a lovely haze, things never went wrong. It's only about love or craze.
Wow.
Great.
These are wonderful. It's like a little symphony hearing all these voices.
Yeah, thank you.
What about Javeria? Javeria, would you like to share yours? Or anybody else?
Mohsin, I have one, but I want everybody else to go. You know, I don't want to take up their time.
No, we want to hear from you also. Why not?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So I'm putting up the picture. This is about my granddaughter. She's a little older now. She's a couple. This is the one. Okay. You may have seen the picture of my granddaughter Parker I use on my screen. I love Parker, my first granddaughter, with a love I've never experienced before. It's not the love I have for my parents or grandparents. It's not the love I have for my children. It's not the love I have for my wife. It's not the love I have for my dear friends, Mohsin and Rich. It's a love that seems to encompass all of these loves. When my students write poems about their grandparents, inevitably I choke up, especially when they write about a grandparent who has died. And now, Even thinking of this, I am overcome with emotion, overcome with the love I have for my granddaughter, who I hope will remember me and remember how much I love her long after I'm gone.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm going to start crying. Nope.
Who wants to go next? Anybody who is really wants to share?
Zain has requested in the chat box.
Okay, Shazen. Yeah. I'm not following the chat actually, so. Yeah, Shazen.
Yes,
Can you hear me, Shazen? Maybe we lost her, or I don't know. So can we?
Yeah, she's.
Yeah. So can we ask Mariam to read hers? She wanted to read one more piece.
Mariam, you want to read your?
Are you there, Mariam?
Yes, I am here, but someone else wanted to read the poem. It wasn't me.
Aisha?
I think it was Richard. Richard had the hand raised.
It was on, it was on Ezra. You said I could read in the end.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I thought it was Mariam. But yeah, Uneza, you can go first, or maybe Rich, whoever.
Okay. Here goes. Through the time, it was written after the first prompt for things, love, and all that. Okay. Through the times, through the ages, man has gazed at the moon, always looked at the unattainable, hungered for it, fought for it, and wiped himself out for it. But why? Is a dream worth chasing? Just as vision rose in mind, flamed the imagination, and then there was nothing. Was it nothing? Was it for nothing? No, it was the love for the stars, a struggle, a desire to reach beyond, to have stardust sparkling in the hand's grasp.
Terrific. Wow. Terrific.
Mr. Gorham.
Go, Rich.
Lou, this is for my grandfather.
Don't kill me.
My grandfather lived through the Spanish flu. For Edmund, my grandfather, son of German immigrants, at 18, you left Cincinnati for South Carolina, Marine training, preparing to fight your former countrymen in the World War, not knowing that your fight would be against a different kind of enemy, unseen and unseeable, the Spanish flu. But you were young and strong and lucky, and you survived, lived another 70 years, and taught your grandson how to draw. And now, as our world confronts another global pandemic, I draw on your example of strength, hoping to be one of the lucky ones.
So we have actually gone a little over time. It's 7:52, so we're overboard by 7 minutes. If somebody really wants to share something more, we can stay back. Otherwise, we can request Lou to.
I do one of them.
Sorry. Yeah, for the
If
final.
we have time, can I share one of them?
Yeah.
Yes, one more.
One more, yeah.
Okay. It's all shiny on the surface, flowers growing out of filthy places, the games you're knowingly playing, and it hits me that maybe you know exactly what you're doing. And I know in the end, you're not even staying. But here we are at 3:25. You're killing me with your beautiful lies. I'm laughing at the things you say, and it's all perfectly fine. But it will hit me a moment you're not even mine. And yeah, I knew it all along. I'd see you in May, long after you. Been just a moment and you have moved on. I don't intend to see the traces of you, but I do. It was long before I fell that I camouflaged the warning signs myself. Babe, I know this is cathartic for you. Someone you talk to, something I do. And I see we're coming on the edge. That's when we were at our best. Look at us now, what a mess. And I know I'll never see this, you'll never see this, and you don't even care, but I swear I see it everywhere. In the people I meet, the new and old, what we had was really gold. I'm sorry, though, if I don't know I'm wrong. I'd never really have to be this strong. I know I'm to blame. I put water on the ember, and I can't help but remember, and I can't help but remember.
Wow. Should I close it up, Mohsen?
Yes, please. Your final.
I just have a question. I have a question, if that's okay.
Yep.
Yes. You were just saying right now that the very first draft that you write, it is the one where you don't let the inner critic change it. So is redrafting something that you write, especially in poetry, is that bad? Is that wrong? Because I do find myself criticizing my own work very often, and what I eventually end up with is very, very different from what I have written the first time. So I don't know where do we draw the line?
You know, that's such a good question. I mean, sometimes the first stuff that comes out is the stuff that's the best and might need a little revision. But some poets and writers, make 200 revisions of their poems. I mean, it's almost like you need some audience, someone you trust that you can read your work with or have them read it. And then that person can tell you, because it's really easy to kind of revise the best stuff out of your work. And every writer is different, so there's no really one rule. But I do know that in this world, we're often, very self-conscious about our thinking and our feelings on the page. And so, sometimes those revisions can take away the magic. I hope that helps.
It does. Thank you.
Well, this was such a joy in this time that we're all struggling, and to cross all these barriers, the distance, the nationalities, the ethnicities, the languages. I want to thank you all for writing in English. So, those of us who are less capable can understand. But that was absolutely beautiful and inspiring. And I'm going to carry this event with me for a long time. Thank you.
We all thank you, Lou, for
thank you
for taking our time. Lou has five more Zoom meetings lined up today, so we won't hold him back. Thank you, all the participants who attended, and a special thank you to Richard Gorham also for joining us again. Thank you, everybody.
Joy to be here.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Annie.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Lou.
Bye. Thank you, Lou. Bye. Thank you, everyone.